I've been with some people recently, and um, it's interesting that, you know, I'm often just alone or with Rika. So when I'm with people, it's like if we spend time with people for a longer time, um, it's like, oh, this is different, you know, and we're trying to find out what's different. And it's the way thought is used, and the space is not there anymore because they fill it, and with thought, and that's the addiction to thought, you know. I mean, Rika and I we talk a lot, but and then we stop, you know, and then we stop. We talk when it's appropriate, and we're going deep, and we're never ever bored. But there's a certain kind of talk that, you know, it's just like facts, and it's the intent, it's where it's coming from. It's not even the subject. If the personality is using it for the purposes of staying on the surface and keeping the mind busy just for its own sake, then you feel that, and it's boring. Well, we talked about this before. Then it's boring. Like something's missing. It's like eating cardboard or something. You know, there's a feeling connection that's missing. Yeah, and it's so interesting how it's all just words going between people, but the difference is one is like a soul connection, and the other's just yeah, total surface. It's like the psychic space is taken up with a level of thinking that is just like not necessary. You know, every time somebody says something, starts a line, like you, in order to follow them, as you're doing now, you have to kind of get on board the train of that thought. So first of all, if somebody's not very good at expressing themselves, or there's some problem with the language, that's already difficult because you're trying to interpret, what do they mean? Or, you know, if they miss out a bit of the sentence, or that you don't hear it, or they don't explain it well, that's like you have to work hard to get on board that train. And then, in the end, in order to have a conversation with someone, as we're doing now, you have to kind of get on board my train and follow it. And that can be a really rewarding thing, or it depends where the train's going or the level of the train in a way. And this is not to say you can't have mundane trains, as it were. You know, we have to talk about mundane things, and that's fine. Or silly things, you know, we ended last time with the absurdity and all that. So it's not against that. So what is it? I think it comes back again to this thing of where it's coming from. If it is the personality just filling the space, because that's what personality wants to do. If it doesn't want to go to the feeling center, it will be very happy to just talk a lot. Then if you're not doing that anymore, you will really feel it. And it won't feel good because you're kind of acclimatized to the space. And you're comfortable with space between thoughts. Feeling takes you into the moment, always. Thought doesn't have to take you away. Certain kind of thought can. I'm reminded of the way I put it before. It's like here, what we're doing is retuning to a different almost vibration. And the rest of the world is mostly not interested in that vibration. So there's a dissonance then when you go into it, usually. And that's what you start to feel like. The further you go in this, the more you feel that dissonance, I would say. And it's also painful sometimes because your system is tuning to this fine vibration. Thoughts can be violent. And I don't just mean violent intent. I mean, their energy can be abrasive. So if you're sort of tuned into the silence, that can be painful. That's my experience, definitely.